We are back again, guys, for part two. We want to keep it short and sweet, man. I know it's a lot of stuff we went over, but we want to continue the American success story here as well. So yeah, man, first time in your mid 20s making six figures, you upskilled yourself and learned. I want you to speak, Rodney, a little bit how important, especially in 2025, from a young man in a situation where he's trying to make it to the next level, trying to be successful. How important is it upskilling, man? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, in your opinion?
10. 10. It's like, what else you got to do with your life? During the day while you're breathing and you're walking around, what else are you going to do than get more and more skills? You know, it makes you more valuable. And I think it's also too important to target skills that people actually want. Before you learn a skill, you can look at people who have that skill and what is it doing for them? Are they earning the kind of money that you want? Are they living the kind of lifestyle that you want? Are they walking and talking and dressing the way that you want? And if they are, then you just copy them.
I like that. I like that, man. So, um, kind of talk about that journey, man, because there's a lot of decisions we can make in life that'll lead us down the route. What are some things that you had to hold back from in life in order for you to get to where you want? Because you in the 20s, we want to talk to the ladies, we want to go out to the do things and have fun. And what are
That's
some
pretty
things you
good.
had to cut out, man? How hard? How long did you have to lock in to get from $18 an hour to $70 an hour and making six figures? How what was that locking period like, man?
Really, it was supposed to have been like 10 years, but I defected a few times in that 10-year period.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
really, yeah. When I think about, I have a son. So since, if I just say, since my son has been born and since I started the grind, technically, I should have probably shouldn't say it that way. Technically, ideally, you just go that whole 5, 10 year period and you just grind. But we're men and we're humans, and we got to interact. But we women in particular is every man's can be a distraction for every man. It's a very common pitfall for a lot of guys. But I think too, women give you an opportunity to improve yourself, because women are they gatekeep themselves, and they'll let you know real quick if you're lame or if you're weak. Women can smell weakness a mile away. So I would say, if you're a young man, I wouldn't say use women, but I would identify that about women. I look at how women are looking at me, and if they're looking at me like I'm lame, if they're looking at me like it's probably true, and that gives you that gives you room to improve yourself.
Gotcha. So let's get off the ladies for a little bit. Yeah, we got
Yes,
it. Yeah, because that's all the dudes care about. I want to get some pretty women. Nah, nah, nah. At
no,
this
I
podcast,
would,
man, we not giving you no game on no women, bro. We giving you game on
no,
life.
yeah, I would not allow them to distract you from your mission.
Yeah,
You
we
have
got
your
work to
purpose,
do.
and it's not worth it at all. Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so we got work to do. We got to, this podcast is about rolling them sleeves up and doing what you need to do. Um, like you said, retail is not fun. It's not sexy, so to speak. Construction is not sexy, so to speak. If you just put it out there with all the cool things that people can do, but again, they are stepping stones for you to get to the next level. And so, tell me, a lot of guys we growing up in these situations. Tell me, what was it first? What did it feel like when you were able to afford to live in an area that you liked? That you were like, man, this is an awesome place.
it felt every bit as good as you imagine it's going to feel. When you think about living in this place and it's peaceful and it's kind, and you can go out for a run out front, and the beach is down the street, and you can do this and you can do that. It feels really nice. And then once you're on this other side where you do have the stability and you do have the money, then you can do all of that stuff with the women that you might have wanted to do in your 20s, or whatever. As hard as it might be to hold off, you will do very well for yourself if you hold off on distractions like the partying, like the common stuff that we all know is a distraction. Partying, women, drugs. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from those kind of things, especially in your 20s. The club is for successful men who have met their purpose. The club
For
is
real.
not for men on the way to their purpose.
If you got to ask your boy for a ride, then it's not you. You
It's
don't
not.
need to be going to the club. If you got to worry about what it costs to park downtown, you shouldn't
Mhm.
be going to the club. If you
Exactly.
spending more money on your clothes than you are educating or upskilling yourself, then you shouldn't be going to the club. Like I honestly feel, and again, growing up in certain environments, I got to get out the house. I got to get out the house. If your parents are cool, if your mom or your dad are cool, and they ain't really pressing, because I had to pay rent. So as soon as I got 18, it was a rent. Really 17, I had to pay some rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had monthly warnings. The 3 months up until I turned 18, got monthly warnings. You about to pay rent?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we let you know. We're gonna let you one way or another. You're gonna have to pay this. You're gonna have to pay some put in, big dog. So so let's talk about that. If your mom or dad or parents are cool and they're like, hey, we just, maybe college is not your thing. Maybe technical school is your thing. Maybe getting a certification or something of that nature is your thing. Be cool with them, man. I know you want to be your own man and you want to do this, but we didn't have the luxury. Me and you did not have the luxury of being like, we can stay in the home until we 24, 25. I moved out when I think the pressure really got on me. And I moved out right around 21. So it was just too much. I was like, all right, man, I gotta get about it, man. It's getting kind of hectic.
Yeah, more about this that same thing, 21, which I think is a wonderful amount of time to have been stayed with your parents. 21 years, that is perfect enough time.
If you're a young man,
21 years old, you can find a job to pay your own bills at 21. I mean,
you can,
and if you don't, you can get the skill in 3 months.
Yes, for real, especially with ChatGPT and all these IT certifications that you can get and things of that nature, man. Because what I'll tell you, because if your parents is cool enough from, let's just say you graduate high school, right? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's 5 years. Let's just say they cool. They'd be like, let's not be crazy here. It's the black community. They're going to charge you some rent. So let's just say they only going to charge you $500 a month, okay? Which is not bad. It's something, right? You helping out.
How much did you get charged? I was charged $700.
700, yeah. We talking about in the 2010s, bro. We ain't talking about.
That was the whole rent at the time. I think our rent was like $785.
Adjusted for inflation, that's $700, like $1,200. Adjusted for inflation, so we was coming up off that $1,200. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say your parents is cool. Like our parents is like, nah, bro, come up off that bread. We going like Debo put you in a headlock and kind of.
You want to be safe. If your parents are letting you stay for free, you want to be saving, but you also want to kick something back to your parents on a regular, and you want to earn your keep. Make sure that trash is here. Somebody's putting a roof over your head. That trash is taken out. You ain't talking back to them. You respecting your parents. You respecting your uncle or whoever is letting you stay with them.
Let's just say that one more time. A roof over your head, bro. We've been having a roof over here for over a decade. It is hard to consistently have a roof over your head as a healthy, able-bodied man. And with all the job things that are happening in the world, people getting laid off, technology, and all the different things, you're always going to have to upskill every couple of years if you're going to be successful. So just to say, you're going to have to consistently upskill. So understand the pressure that what it takes to keep a roof under your head, especially when you grew up lower income like we did. We didn't have the best. We weren't rich. I was below middle class. Okay, like definitely not say poverty, not like living and eating out of dumpsters, but definitely lower class.
Yeah,
definitely know about the EBT card. Okay, definitely know about that. If you don't know the acronym, then you ain't really out the trenches. You know what I mean? No, but so here's a quick game plan. Okay, so now let's give this game plan to the guys. We already talked about your history and how you got to where you are. We'll have more stories about that, but. So you graduate high school, you're about 17, 18. So if your parents are cool, let's just say they only charge you $500. Me and him was paying $700 in the 2010. So let's just say they cool, $500, cool. Average job nowadays, let's say you making about at least $1,500 a month to $1,500 to $2,000 a month. It's pretty fair, right? For an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old. Would you say?
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. So you're making about $2,000, so $500 out of your pocket off rip. So you got $1,500 free cash. You got to have a car. I would suggest to you, I know everybody wants the leather seats. Everybody wants the nice car and a $600 or $700 payment. I would suggest to you, sir, get yourself a to and fro, a point A to point B. To and fro, leave a little bit too fancy. We need a point A to point B. I'm talking like a 2003, 2004, 2005 Honda or Toyota. 100,000 miles. Would you suggest that?
And you rock it to the wheels fall off. You don't get rid of your car till your car get rid of itself.
It's not about from 17 to 21. It's not about being cool. You are not cool as you think you are at 21. You are a broke boy. We broke. We all broke. We all in the same broke boat. Let's just be broke, okay? Let's not call a thing a thing. We are all broke, okay? Just accept it, and it is what it is. Now, the quickest way you're gonna get from being broke to getting something, especially coming from a lower income where we from, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet. Get you that used car. My first car was from CarMax, okay? $13,000 car, $15,000 car. You know, you may not have credit. Did you have credit when you were 22, 23?
No,
I had no credit. My credit score was like 560 something. I don't know what it was. So I for sure had that high interest rate. Okay.
Yeah,
So you're not going to get.
Oh,
it's going to sting. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, man. It's
you
like moving your hand.
You paying your dues.
You got to pay your dues because this podcast is about you coming from nothing. I can't talk to people who grew up with some, parents put $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in your savings account for you. So when you graduate, I can't speak for parents that bought their kids a car. I don't come from that. I come from, you're going to have to buy your own car. You're going to have to pay your own car insurance. You're going to have to do this.
Pay your own college. If you ain't get a scholarship, you ain't going.
You might need a co-signer, and you're going to have to beg one of your cool uncles that got some money, and they barely want to do that for you. Be a co. They really don't, because at this age, I don't want to co-sign for none of y'all. I love y'all, but I ain't co-signing for none of y'all like that. How irresponsible y'all be. So to convince, that's why I knew I was a salesperson, because I was set my uncle up on give me some money to help me out. He gave me $1,000. God rest his soul. My uncle gave me $1,000 to help me get my first car, but he wanted that back in the utmost time, he was like, "Look, I want that RI quick, bruh." So this is the reality. So you 18 to 21, you are going to have a crappy car. You are going to have a high car note. It's going to be $500-$600. I'm just telling. No, it's not. Let's just say $300 to $400. Get you a nice Toyota or Honda. I would suggest to you going to a third party situation. If you got a cool homeboy that works like a mechanic, or a family member that's a mechanic, go to the auction. You're going to have to at least put $1,000 to $1,500 worth of work into the car. If you buy from the auction and it's $4,000 or $5,000, it's going to need $1,000 to $2,000 worth of work. Would you say that right?
Yeah, I mean, yep. I would say
you can get a nice wrong with everything.
I would say if you have $4,000 to $5,000, you can find a nice working car. Whether it be at auction or whether if you know cars,
the paint is going to be ugly. The interior is going to be a little cracked. You might have the hand windows, right?
Bad on gas.
It's going to be 10 to 15 years old, and you're going to have a car problem within the next 6 months to a year. Just accept
don't feel bad about other people who have nice cars because they don't have money. If you see a 21-year-old who went to the same school you went to, grew up in the same neighborhood you went to, and he got a Lexus, he's broke. Promise you. I mean, 99%.
This is the thing. If I was talking to myself, you have nothing to prove to nobody. The only thing you need to prove is to yourself that you are so I always tell myself, I have the intellectual capacity, I have the work ethic, and I have the mentality to get to wherever I need to go. I would consistently tell myself, because the world tells you as a black man, criminals and all these negative things, and all these negative things we hear about young. No, you wake up every morning, you got your health, you have a level of intelligence, you have all these different things. You can be successful. What did you tell yourself? What was that self-talk for you, Rodney? For you to get to where because it's hard, man. It's really, man. That early 20s was hard, bro. What did you tell you? What was your self-talk to keep yourself from breaking or falling down or being like, I just can't do this, man?
Yeah, I mean, when I think about the times in the lowest moments, I would just picture the life that I wanted. I would picture having the cars that I wanted. I still do the same. Picture having the house and like you mentioned, upscaling. I always think of what's next, but not just like having stuff. Always think of the thing that I'm doing that's bringing me the things that I want. How can I do that thing better? So if I'm an engineer, for example, I'm always imagining, how can I engineer better? And then that stuff is going to bring me more of, what I want. And I think, that's my mindset towards it.
I love that. Same here, bro. You literally, when you don't have a lot coming up, you literally have to, if it's a vision board, if it's a Pinterest, whatever, you have to make it tangible. And then, you know what you could do? It's things that me and you would do. I would go to a neighborhood or area. I don't, and just hang out. I would just sit on the park bench
Mhm.
and just be around. Don't
Mhm.
be scaring people and smoking the weed and stuff on the bench and like that. But just go to the area that you know where affluent people live. Just sit and observe. Literally, just I would just sit and observe and watch. Did you ever do that like before? Just go to certain nice areas, like whether it's a nice mall or nice shopping center, and just sit and observe.
I would go to the nice neighborhoods, and they had this app called Rently. I don't know if they still have it, but
Okay.
you can. They let you look at houses that are available for rent. So I would go to these wealthy neighborhoods, and I would just do personal walkthroughs of the house by myself, just to get the feeling like, man, this is what life can be like. And I think it's hard when you come from me personally. I ain't gonna project on everybody else. Coming from Baltimore, it's very difficult for me to imagine that I could have something. I couldn't like see myself. I kind of thought that this other person, it makes sense that they are wealthy. It makes sense that he has a nice car. It makes sense he has a giant house, but it wouldn't quite make sense that I would have that thing. I don't know
Or
where
you
that
almost feel
idea
like you
came
didn't
from.
deserve it.
Yeah, like it was something different about me that I see why they have that. I don't deserve that.
Bro, I
But
had that
that's
feeling
just not
too. It's
true.
like you weren't selected or you weren't chosen.
Yeah, you were
Bro,
picked.
yeah, you were born, you were given intelligence.
Mhm.
You were given the capacity to do whatever. This is the thing about being broke and growing up in a certain situation. You have just if you were you have just as much of intelligence and capability as anybody else. It's just what you do with it. You may have to do a little bit more and put in a little bit more effort in, but you're really going to have to um, say to yourself, if they can do it, I am capable.
Yep.
Literally, when you working at UPS job at night and you got to load the truck, or you working at Arby's or Walmart or the gas station or Dollar Tree or um, Verizon or T-Mobile, in which those are pretty solid jobs. Some of those jobs are, but
Mhm.
if you want more for yourself, I am capable. I am capable. I am capable. Just look at other people. I used to look at people like, man, I know he ain't that's much smarter than me. You never look at somebody like, yo, he making a lot of money. Be like, I just know he ain't that much smarter than me.
Absolutely, and you'd be surprised when you get some positions. You speak to some people in these positions, and they are no different than you or I. And sometimes I don't want to put people down, but sometimes they're less than what you would imagine that they were.
Stop making people superheroes that are clowns.
They're not. They're humans just like the rest of us. They got to sleep like the rest of us. They got to use the bathroom like the rest of us. Eat food like the rest of us.
Yeah, and so yeah, man, that part of your life when you graduate high school is so pivotal.
Mm-hmm.
Please do not throw it away with party. Please do not throw it away with making bad
Yeah,
decisions in life.
please do.
Keep your record clean. Stay out of trouble, man.
Mhm.
It's a lot, and it's you always gonna have that one homeboy that's always like he cool to hang out with, but you just definitely don't know where the night is going to end if you hang out with him. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You know he might be like, yeah, it's because it's like almost exciting, almost. You're like, oh man, he
Yep.
kind of like a live wire, but it's like it's always kind of an adventure. No, no. And then another thing is find community because when we grew up,
For
these
sure.
there's social media now. You have all these communities you can find. We back in the day, you had to go to networking events and things of that nature. Take Toastmasters. Go to a meetup group.
Yeah.
Go to meetup. Go to Facebook groups.
Yep.
Try to
With
find
within your interests.
community.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever
Another
have
thing too. Yes, I would go to maker spaces, so places where other engineers would come together and put things together. I take my son and I, we go on different events with our inventions and show them off. So the running group that I ran with today, so it is very important to get with other men. The effort that you would have spent chasing women, I wanted you to chase other men, and not in
Yeah,
you
yeah, I got
understand
you,
what
got you,
I'm trying to say, the company.
chasing
I mean, yeah,
brotherhood.
chasing brotherhood. Put that same effort. Be willing to spend money to do it. Be willing to travel to do it. Be willing to stay up late to do it. Be willing to inconvenience yourself. The same way you would do for a woman. You drive 2 hours away. If she sent you a text message, I'm here, ready, yada yada yada. You got to be that same way when this brother comes to you and say, yeah, a group of us are getting together this weekend, an hour and a half away up here. We're gonna just hang out and do X, Y, Z. Go ahead. You don't know what kind of connections you're gonna have from them. And the especially when you're young, I promise you, if you are hanging around, if you find yourself a 21-year-old man who is well groomed, well spoken, well kept together. I promise you, this man is going places when he's 30, 35, 40, 50. You want to be his friend. To when you're that young, anybody who's astute at that age is an automatic. I would automatically make them my friend, because to be that at that age is remarkable, and they're still young enough that you actually have an opportunity to connect with them. And it's not on anything selfish, like you're trying to take advantage of anybody, but no, you want to make connections with people who are strong, who are going places, who are focused, and not with the knuckleheads.
And you should have see, this is what I love about you. This is why I love being your friend. We've been friends for over a decade at this point. This is why he's on this podcast, because we've been friends for over a decade. You have to have a competition friend. What I mean by that is you're not competing against him, but you're competing in the sense of you want to be you want him to be as successful as you are, and you both want to be successful. Me and Roddy back in the day when we was going through it, working retail at 9 and all this, and he's working and driving down to Virginia and stuff. We just checking in with brother. How's it going, man? Hey, he's like, hey, Lee, man, this is this and that, and it's going through this and going through that. And I would say, bro, we just encourage each other, man. I would send you a message, hey, bro, you got this, man. When you was taking your test.
Yeah, this was before the internet, the red pill, blue pill conversation ever came up on the internet. I remember you would call, this is 2013, 2014, every month or two, and would say in your words that I was a high value. I don't remember what word you used, but you would say you're a high value man. You're not like these other people. Keep going, keep pushing. That when you get yourself around a brotherhood and you have people saying those things, you got to let that stuff brainwash you. That stuff starts to brainwash you, and you start to believe it. Like, because when you would first say it, I would always think, okay, that's just how Rob talks. He's being a nice guy. I appreciate you saying that. But just that repetitive is, you start to believe it, and you were doing that naturally. Nobody asked you to do that,
Nah, and I'm not gassing you up. I'm literally looking at you putting in the work and doing the work, and I'm looking at it like things are happening for you, and I'm like, bro, I know how hard it is. I'm like, bro, keep grinding, keep getting it, because me and you both know what it's like. Where situations where, like, man, I don't have to do oodles and noodles. I remember when I was in my early 20s, bro, it was potatoes, bro. No, it was potatoes and oodles and noodles. When you grow up with not nobody going to hold your hand like that, it was potatoes and oodles of noodles, cup of noodles for like $1.99 or $1.29, depending on where you get them.
You was balling if you had cup of noodles.
Cup of noodles, man. Come on.
Yeah, top ramen and Marucan.
Get the top ramen, and then you go to the dollar store, you get the pack of them. You get like 6-pack or something like that.
They used to get like a whole 20-pack.
You be tired of that taste. You got to do chicken and beef or shrimp. You got to mix them up. You got to mix them up. Yeah, man. You got to put some seasoning, salt. You got to be culinary with it, man. Then you got to mix up your Arizonas.
Cut some hot dogs up, put it in there.
Oh, bro, I did that too. Yep. And or if you want to be smooth, get some Italian sausages, because the hot dog, sometimes when you put in the oodles and noodles, it got a little aftertaste. But sometimes you want to be special, so you put the sausage, the kielbasa in that joker. Bam, bam. Now you're really doing something. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have a ritual for you to keep going. Because like you said, man, it was me and you. Hey, you would always tell me, bro, because even when you told me you believed in me, in the same way you thought, I was like, all right, bro, all right, I get it. But you believe it, but you kind of like, okay, he's just gassing me up. Yeah. I would be like, you kept saying it, but the thing was, you did not stop saying it. So like eventually I started to believe it. Like I kind of knew I had the ability to do it, but it's like a person who's like I was always keeping on tabs with you. And every time you advanced and succeeded, and these little victories we had, we always celebrated each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, man,
it ruminates in my head. It's like the same way if somebody's curse you out and then you go the rest of your day, it's going, this is like the opposite of that. Somebody come through and throw you something good. Now all day I'm hearing in my head, oh, you're a high value man. And again, this was before anybody ever got online and said high value man. You're saying it in your own words, but I mean, this was happening.
So you got to find, and this is the thing, you got to find other brothers when I say brothers, I'm talking about Korean brothers, Asian, white, black, whatever. There's people that's going to see you that's not necessarily black. They're going to say, man, I like you, bro. I want to hang out with you, bro. Hang out with as many different cultures and people that you can, different age groups as well. Because I had a mentor. He was a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, served in the Vietnam War. Dude was $1 million seller in pharmaceuticals. Louis was a serious salesperson. He saw me one day in my mid-20s. He said, he looked at me. We met. I was working at a retail spot. He said, "I like you, young man." And I said, he was just a real character. I said, "I like him. He's a character. Let me." And I said, he mentored me. He gave me, he taught me how to do a value book, which means when you go on a job interview, you have all your victories, your victory book. Like this, like you have your projects. I did this, this, and this. I succeeded. I won salesperson of the year, or employee of the month, or the most calls, most convert, whatever it is. Get a book called a victory book, and save those things. So when you do go in an interview and people say, you know, you don't want to have all these different jobs and have nothing to say for yourself. You want to win employee of the month. You want to get, you want to get like all these little things, because they do build up, and companies look at that. They're like, okay, this guy's really going to work hard, etc. And even if you go to entrepreneurial route, which everybody wants to do nowadays, you're developing these skill set, and you're putting, there's a standard of excellence that you can do. That's the thing I love about talking to you, Roddy. We both know when we BSing in life.
Well, yeah.
There's a standard. I love it when you call me like, man, did you work out today? Did you run today? What you need to do today?
Yeah, weak as excuse.
Be like, yeah, man, I pulled my kneecap is blacker than it usually is. You know, I need to put some lotion on that. So I'm ashy today. I can't get out the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm ashy. So because due to my ashiness, I'm gonna have to sit this workout today out.
Gotta hold out for an hour.
Yeah, but we hold each other accountable.
Yeah,
you know important. When you're not doing what you need to do. Yep. Let's keep it a buck. You know. If you on that 2K, on that Madden, that's great. Make that a reward for a day's work, right? Yeah. I'm not trying to get biblical and throw a whole bunch of Jesus on you, but you know there's a reward for man's hard day of work. Yeah. You have to earn your playtime.
Yeah. And when
just like I had to earn my Swedish fish and my Arizona tea, you have to earn. Give yourself something to work towards. What were you going to say, Ron?
When you're in your late teens, early 20s, you have so much energy to go and learn and do things and to try to think. But the thing you mentioned about how putting something aside as a reward for yourself, there's a book called The Power of Habit. I can't remember who's the writer. It's like this yellow book. But that's one of the things that they repeat in that book is the idea of having a reward system for yourself to build habits that towards your goal. So it's a good idea.
I agree with you 100%, man, because there's nothing in the world like, man, if I do what I'm supposed to do at the end of this week, I'm going to have me some Swedish fish and it's Arizona tea. If I don't, it's water and noodles, and it's chicken noodles and noodles, and it's a little bit of potatoes, because potatoes is good. Potatoes are really good for you. You know what I'm saying? Tater tots, whatever, and it's affordable. Let's talk about the importance of managing your money as we get closer to the 30-minute mark here, because now managing that money is important, man, because when you're in your 20s again, you really want to buy a whole bunch of stuff. The PS6 is coming out, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out, and NBA 2K and Madden and all this and all that and all the latest sneakers and all that. Talk about because we didn't have much. So like once you get like that 6 figures and some money in your pocket, where did the discipline come from, man? Because it's very easy to spend it. And what was that lesson like? Curious.
Having been poor, the thought of being poor again kept me from now. I made mistakes. I didn't have a perfect, run the past 10 years, but overall, the thought of being poor again, I imagined being hungry and not being able to buy stuff. And I said, no, I'm going to save. I'm putting aside. If you are 21 right now, put $50 a month if you can. 50.
We talking from the age of 17. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Let's do some math real quick because we love math, right? So let's just say you said 500, right?
You put 50 a month as a 17-year-old.
50 times 12.
18-year-old.
It's $600. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 4, right? Mm-hmm. 600 times 4 is $2,400.
I know grown men my age right now who don't have $2,400. So,
and by saving that money now down the line, that could be if you save that money, that could be for a serious professional certification. That could be from a serious whatever the case may be. But yeah, get in the habit of saving, man. Because I had an uncle, he was like, always put some money aside. You old heads used to tell us. Remember the old heads back in the day? They always tell you put $25 a paycheck or something like that in there. Do it.
Yeah,
they really like when you. It sucks not having no money and you got to wait for the next paycheck.
Yeah, I would say get you a nest egg when you, in my opinion, in your early 20s, and again, this is opinion, I don't think you should spend too much of your money trying to invest in other things than yourself. For example, you could put your money in the stock market, and at best, you get 10-15% back, and that's considered a good year. 10-15%. So you could take that same money. Let's say you have $5,000. You could take that same $5,000, go to a welding school, buy yourself a welding rig, and now you can make $85,000 a year. So you could take 5,000 to make 85, 100, 150,000, or you could take that 5,000 and then make 14%, whatever that is on top of that with an investment.
From 18 to 21, it is invest in yourself. Get the skills. I have to go to Toastmasters. I got to get a certification. I got to do something, whether it's computers or sales. Like I always used to look at, because for me, bro, I always love the elite of the elite, whether it's the Marine Corps or the Navy SEALs or the Special Ops, Spec Ops. I want to know who's the greatest salesperson of all time. Who ran Salesforce or who ran these large organizations? What was their journey to success, right? Because there is if you want to be the best, you have to study that. Literally, it's like the Holy Book will say, there's nothing new under the sun. The Bible says that, right? There's nothing new under the sun. It really isn't. So there was a path for them to get to it. Some people have family and rich things, but there's a situation where they worked on the lower part, they got promoted, they did what they needed to do, they put in effort, and it happened. There is already a path. Sometimes there's already a pathway for you to get to where you need to go.
It is. Yeah.
It really is.
Starting from wherever you are. Wherever you are in your situation, you could do something in that. I don't care if it's McDonald's, and I'm not putting McDonald's down.
Yeah.
Even if you're working fast food, there's an angle in there.
Yeah, you can get from the fries to the manager, and you could, and some general managers, and you could run all. You could be a manager of the a regional manager for McDonald's and making $200,000-$300,000 a year. So yeah, there's a way. It may not be fast food, but there's something where you have a skill set where there's a look at whatever you want to do in life. Look at the best who's done it, and then you hold yourself to that mentality. How many days do I got to stack of to do that?
And don't be afraid to look outside of what you're used to look. There's a lot of jobs and opportunities that we've never even heard of. Like there's oil rigs out there. There are people mining, and there are people who have to build the equipment that gets used to mine these big giant machines. Have you ever met anybody that makes the metal teeth to a big giant drilling machine? Like somebody's had to make it. So there's all these other opportunities, high paying jobs that you and I have never even heard of. I would encourage you to get looking at those. I mean, anything you see in the world that is made, any sort of a product, somebody had to make it. Any sort of a system, somebody had to make it, and they got paid to do it. So start looking at things outside of the city you live in, outside of the state you live in, outside of what your friends are used to, and you'll find opportunities out there that you probably didn't even know existed.
Exactly, even with drones. Instead of going to the club or trying to do this, you could take $500 and get a drone and do drone photography.
There you go.
You could do sport event.
$500 on a section. Which one?
And you may not make it to the NFL or NBA, but you could record with your drone special cool highlights for these athletes and create your own business. You could even do that for the games. You could even learn how to be because I remember one time, bro, I don't know what it was. I was, back in those, I wanted to be a movie director. I went to the library when people still went to the libraries besides Barnes and Nobles. And I was like, what does the average movie director get paid? And learn about how the job is done. There's so many wonderful books. You can go to Barnes and Nobles. You can get a book for $20-$30 at Barnes and Nobles. Man, I learned so much fascinating things about movie directors and the different things that they need to know. And a lot of them have learned on the job as well. Some of them have gone to director school, but a lot of them have worked their way up from other parts that are smaller in the movie industry, and they've learned how to do it. Now, with the democratization of technology, you literally, with a Canon, a mirrorless Canon, or some other things, you could for $500 to $1,000, you can buy a professional quality movie production thing and try it out for yourself, and just mess around with some apps and some software, and like you said, invest in these up and just mess around and take a class and be like, okay, I like this photography thing, I like this movie thing, I want to be a movie director, or like with you're doing, I want to do 3D printing. How do I do that? You could even start your own 3D printing, some car parts, whatever you want. So much more things available to you right now.
All from investing in yourself. That money you put into you is going to do so much more for you than giving somebody else your money and hoping they give you some back.
the best investment, and we're going to leave you with this, you ever can make in life is in yourself. That return on investment and investing in yourself is amazing. He went from $18 an hour to 6 figures in under 10 years. Okay. So if you can invest.
I poured a lot of time and energy and money into doing that. So you can't get around the investment of time, energy, and money.
You're going to have to get them hands dirty, buddy. You're going to have to read some books. You're going to have to, and if you struggle and if reading is not your thing, you can do audio tapes as well.
Yep.
There's YouTube University.
We didn't have this. We didn't have all these audio books.
I remember iTunes used to have iTunes University. Remember iTunes University?
See, I was never an iPhone guy.
You were an Android guy. But they had iTunes. There was an app on your phone or tablet where you could go get free college courses and learn about different things and modules and stuff like that. Because I like public speaking. I like history. I love, soft skills and psychology, et cetera. So I would take these classes. So now you got YouTube University. If you don't learn about psychology, you take ChatGPT. You can learn all these and refine these skills. You can cut down on your time to knowledge base now is accelerated. Sure.
Yeah.
Invest in that $20 ChatGPT.
Yeah. Pay $20 for ChatGPT. It's worth it.
Pay if you gotta withhold yourself from some other streaming apps and stuff like that. Do that. Take that $20 for that ChatGPT.
Take that Netflix off and get you ChatGPT.
And wear that ChatGPT out. Get your $20 a month worth. Get your $20. Man, I'd be at 2 o'clock. I'm like, man, tell me about some Roman history. Tell me about the Senate. Tell me about the all right. Man, I'd be like, people talking about how they was fighting the what was it called? The gorilla. How many guys would kill a gorilla? I was just doing that. I was like, okay, what if these people are tactically trained special forces? Could they take that? And just asking different questions and different angles. And man, you're from a novice to knowledge now is accelerated. Mm-hmm. It's literally in the palm of your hand. So, folks, this episode we're gonna name this 18 to 21. What you need to do to stay out of trouble and get to where you need to go. But that is so pivotal, especially if you're growing up how we grew up from 18 to 21. It's time to lock in. Would you agree?
18 to 21 for sure. No girls, no partying, no drugs, no spending money on BS. Straight up
investing in yourself.
Invest in yourself. You go to work, you go to the gym, you hang with your brothers and have a good life. It's fun. Enjoy it.
And be around winners, not losers.
Mm-hmm.
And seek mentors. Be someone that someone would want to mentor. Yep. Folks, we're out.